Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Parkville Network.
Well, all right.
Love getting your texts and your emails, and just complete transparency. We got some texts and actually voicemail messages from someone. Excuse me, from over the weekend. Him and his family were traveling from Colorado back home to Nebraska, found our podcast, and were catching up on our podcast. And they left a voicemail to comment on all the podcasts they listened to from Colorado to Nebraska. So it's taken me a second to get to it.
We're going to get them learned.
Yes,
Have you learned anything so far?
No. I mean,
kind of, sort of, maybe.
I
don't know.
A little bit. We're gonna get to it later this week. So thank you.
Is that going to be an episode all by itself, or what?
I mean, honestly, it may be, because like literally every episode's like, hey, we're driving back, the whole family, we're listening, and I'm going to leave a comment for every single episode you listen to. And so they did.
I'm glad they did.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's awesome. So yeah, we'll put that together for later this week.
Oh my God. All right. So here we are as we speak. It is the 24th of February. We're right today as this drops, as a matter of fact, on the tomorrow's the 25th, right?
Yeah, 25th.
Yeah, Fat Tuesday. And then Ash Wednesday, beginning of Lent, and away we go. And so Mardi Gras has been going on. Yay.
Yeah, and 2 people have been hit by floats down in New Orleans.
I am shocked that is even a headline.
Like, isn't that something that like by default? Shouldn't they say like when it starts the whole thing, like, okay, hey y'all, at least 2 of you are going to die before next week.
It's like running of the bulls, but worse. I mean, because they're only going 2 miles an hour. And somebody still manages to get hit. Sadly, there was somebody who got, and I don't know how severe the injuries were, and it may have been worse than just injuries, because she tried to run across the parade route and jump between the hitch and the, where the tractors
that's not good. Yeah.
Not a good place. She tripped over the hitch.
I mean, I don't mean to laugh. That's not funny at all, but it's like
getting hit by a train. Because they're going 2 miles an hour, or maybe a little better at the most. They don't go very fast, but you can see where they're at.
Here's the deal. I get it. It's Fat Tuesday, Black Friday, whatever. Black Friday.
Well,
what's it called?
It's been Mardi Gras season. They've been having Carnival. It's been going on. Fat Tuesday today. Today's the day that everybody is like supposed to get it in before tomorrow, because then it's Lent.
Because then they give up whatever
you
for
have
40
to,
days.
right? So whatever it is you want to.
I don't know.
Pork out on or gorge on.
It's like my theory of, if you get hit by a train, it was your time. Like Jesus had it written in the book. If you get hit by a parade float and you die, it's your time. I mean, there's nothing you can do. If you were out in the middle of a field, you would have been like hit by a meteor or something. It's your time.
I mean, the parades, I know they can get a little hectic if you have live animals involved. Okay, but when you're doing the floats,
they're going 2 miles an hour.
I remember doing parades and we'd have the teams driving the wagons, and invariably there would be somebody in front of the teams in the wagons, or whatever horse drawn, whatever there is, or even horses being ridden. There would be a float or whatever up ahead of them, and they're throwing candy.
Right.
And so little kids are running across the street in front of the horses, and that's a little different. But when it's a vehicle drawn float,
and it's an adult over 18-year-old person that is hit by a float. Yeah, it's called a float.
And so I'm surprised that isn't a headline, either a headline every day of Carnival, or just is not even included.
No, it's like, okay, we're not. As soon as we hit 3, then we'll start reporting it.
Yes, right. Then it becomes epidemic.
Then it's like, oh my gosh, we've had 3 people hit by a 2-mile-per-hour moving float of a baby Jesus cake.
Well, okay, so there might be a reason. I got to go through a couple things here, because when I got to see it was Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday, Lent, giving up things, and then just thinking about all the people going through. You go through the crazies this time of year. It's like everybody's you get stir crazy about this time of year. You blame it on so many different things. February's awful, traditionally, and granted, this February has been really pretty decent.
Weather-wise, it's been.
When it comes to weather, this has been really pretty.
That's why I feel like March is going to kick us in the nuts.
March has been known to do that too. Yeah. There's something going on that they call Mercury Retrograde, or Mercury in Retrograde.
I remember when we had William Lamb on our show all the time. He talked about Mercury in Retrograde all the time. I had no idea what that meant.
I looked it up, because the reason why is because there was some stupid survey somewhere with Grubhub or somebody.
Grubhub?
They were talking about food
Not in Reuters or
no,
anything.
they were talking about the food that people were ordering right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Because so many people have been complaining about it, that their cravings are just out of control, and for
100%.
things that they don't normally want. And just this morning, well, as we record this, we had one of our clients was in recording his podcast. Danny Woodhead was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was complaining because his man, he says, just out of control. He says, I ate McDonald's last weekend, and I said, okay,
Okay, so and this coming from a guy who doesn't put anything in his mouth.
No.
That basically he doesn't grow in his backyard. Like he is all natural.
Right?
So for him to say he ate McDonald's is a big deal.
He said he ate a pile of nuggets.
Oh God, that sounds so good right now. Isn't that so fantastic?
And he's just like, I don't know, I lost control. I lost control. I don't know what happened. I told him about
You're
Mercury.
a human being.
I said we got to sit down
You
and talk
told
for a
him
second.
about Mercury and
I
Retrograde.
did because I knew he'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because he believes in all that stuff. Everything's connected.
Right.
They say that the planet Mercury rules communication, travel, contracts, automobiles, things like that, but travel, and interpersonal relationships.
Okay.
So when Mercury is retrograde, they tell you to be conscious of this because it happens like 3 to 4 times a year. This year, it just happened, started February 17th.
Okay.
So it's been about the last week.
Okay.
And my habits and my everything is out the window.
completely
As far
out
as
the window.
my diet goes, it is batshit crazy.
Just
I'm
nuts.
sorry. I don't know what to do.
You
I
know what? You know
never
what?
eat candy.
I
never do.
I went downtown
had-
and I bought cocaine on
Stop
Saturday.
it. No, you
Like,
didn't.
It's been absolutely
same
crazy.
difference. I had M&Ms.
Right. Exactly the M&Ms with the caramel in it.
Oh,
It's like Coke.
It's crazy. And then I bought the new stupid Kit Kat. Have you seen it? The mint Kit Kats?
That would not arouse me at all.
Oh,
mint.
I'm going to tell you
doesn't
right-
do anything to me.
It doesn't until you try this because it's like dark chocolate. Do you ever like the baker's candies that have the slight mint?
No, I'm not a big mint fan.
The mint melts that they used to have, like cashews, they used to have those candies. Oh my God, so good. And those were like one of the few candies I liked.
Do you need a moment? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Anyway, and I bought one of those. Yeah, I did actually. And it comes, it's like 4 pieces. And I slowly, it took me 2 days to eat all 4 pieces, but because I'm
That's
not like a
good.
candy person. I also bought ice cream bars. But they're Skinny Cow because I tried to
Skinny Cow's awesome.
I tried to think
But that's
it
the
through.
problem is that you have Skinny Cow and then you eat 4 of them.
I ate 5 because there's 5 in a box.
I know.
5 in a box, and they're the ones
it's
that.
only 1,000 calories. Otherwise, it would have been 2,600.
Yep. And they're the Nestle Crunch kind of coating with the
So
vanilla.
good. I don't know how
whatever it
Skinny
is.
Cow does it, but it's fantastic.
I don't know, but I feel like a skinny cow right now. So I ate all 5 this weekend.
Trust me, I get it.
So has just been out the window, and I can't control it. And so February 17th through March 10th is this date range. The next one is June 18 to July 12, and then October 14th to November 3rd. Those are 3 times Mercury will be in retrograde this year.
So we got to fast the week
And
before
so,
those.
well, they're just saying that it affects everything. And for a lot of people, sometimes it's comfort food because you feel like something's out of sort. And so you crave something that gives you comfort.
Yeah.
And so
Makes
for a lot
sense.
of people, it's food. They should be really careful when it comes to allow extra time when you are replying to emails, when you're making reservations,
Interesting. Okay.
when you're planning any kind of projects. That maybe if you can, it would be even better to wait till after March 10th to complete some projects.
Oh, you'd be pissed if. Oh, I was going to say
Just-
reply to an email.
No,
You'd be
just
pissed.
if you have like projects or things you need to put into motion.
Okay, makes sense.
If you can wait, maybe wait. It's a good time to sit back and review
Okay.
what you're doing before you move forward. Don't open that next bottle of wine so fast.
Okay. Fair enough.
But it depends a lot on not only how you live your life, it can also depend on your sign as well. There are different things to kind of be aware of when it comes to that. But they believe that this whole Mercury retrograde thing can affect friendships, misunderstandings, as a matter of fact, increase the likelihood. Travel, logic, communication all get disrupted. Emails getting lost, flights delayed. Not only making
Good
bad
Lord.
reservations, just delays and some other misfortune that goes along with it. But
Okay.
anyway, they said that Mercury is the planet that's closest to the sun. It's just slightly larger than the Earth's moon, and it's one of the fastest planets in the system. So retrograde 3 to 4 times a year for about 3 weeks is when it happens. And what they said, it appears that the planet is traveling backward through the night sky. It's an illusion. That's where the retrograde comes from.
Okay.
It's not really doing it, but apparently it's
looks
just
like it
messing
is.
with us, messing with the tides,
Messing with everything.
messing with the solar system. I mean, messes with everything. So just be aware. So you want to know what people are ordering.
Oh,
Don't feel bad.
Only imagine.
What Mercury in retrograde causes, top trending orders. Chocolate chip cookies go through the roof. So Eileen's is killing it right now.
killing it right now.
Killing it right now. They should just change the name of Eileen's in retrograde.
Riley's in retrograde.
Bacon cheeseburgers, grilled cheese, ice cream, and mac and cheese.
All that stuff sounds so fantastic.
Top ordered items: fries, chicken nuggets,
Okay, so Danny's fine.
right?
Yeah.
Quesadillas, burritos, cheeseburgers, queso, wings, milkshakes, fried rice.
I love it. Those are all the things you can get the fastest possible through a drive-through.
And that's what everybody wants right now.
All of it.
That's
Just get
all
it.
they
Get
want.
after it.
So just be careful. And the states that are affected the most, Nebraska, fortunately, is not on the list, but I find it interesting that
Oh, I
Montana
think we should
is
be on
number
a list.
one.
Really? I mean, we're right there neighbor. Why wouldn't we be affected?
I don't know. Maryland, California. I don't know if I could blame retrograde on California.
That's a whole
California's got
different.
its
You'll
own
just put
problems.
them out.
Ohio, Colorado, Utah, Virginia, Illinois, Texas, and Arizona.
It's mostly, I mean, probably 80% upper Midwest, middle Midwestern sort of states.
Kinda ish. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on. Because I'm like, what is the problem here? It said also financial decisions. Be really careful.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. But it's just it's happening across the country,
So it's Mercury.
across the world.
It's Mercury's fault.
That's what DoorDash or Grubhub said.
How about so maybe it has something to do with those? Did you see? I don't know what state it was in. Those that frat house, those frat boys that wanted Chick-fil-A super bad. Oh, you didn't see that? And the closest it was what was it, like a lacrosse team, or no, it was a cross country team, and they wanted Chick-fil-A super bad. It was some like Friday or Saturday. So in order for
it
them
wasn't
all,
Sunday.
so in order for them all to go to Chick-fil-A, it was like 2 hours away. And they would have all take all their vehicles and go down there to eat Chick-fil-A. So what they did, brilliant. They realized that in their local airport, there was a Chick-fil-A, but it was behind security.
Right.
So you had to have a ticket. So they picked one guy and they went and found the cheapest possible ticket you could buy one way. To get through
$39
security.
one way.
It was $90, $98.
Wow.
So they went back and they split the cost of the ticket by 20 people on the team. And so the kid bought the ticket, went behind security and bought $220 some worth of Chick-fil-A, which airport food's more expensive anyway.
I was going to say,
It wasn't
was like
that
the
much.
worst Chick-fil-A. Like maybe go ahead and splurge on the gas and drive the extra 100
Well, I would think
miles.
instead of going to the airport, just have one person drive 3 hours,
Yeah.
hour and a half, whatever, back and forth. But whatever, they didn't do that. But it was, another thing that makes me feel just iconically old is this kid. It was his first time ever in an airport.
Oh.
So he was 18 and a half,
That's seriously. How old were you the first time you flew?
like 13 or
Me
14.
too. That was little.
So to be
Very
a
young.
freshman or sophomore in college
Yeah.
and have never gone through that process,
Never flown.
So
and
he had,
I have to
and
admit,
he-
though, when you first flew, there was no TSA.
oh no,
There was no security.
no,
You could run back there.
I can have
Anybody could run back there.
carry
The whole
me to my
family went
seat.
to the gate with
Yes,
you.
100%. They couldn't go to the plane, but they went almost and could touch the plane.
Almost.
Oh, pretty close. I mean, you can go to the top of the
seriously.
little jetway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Isn't that crazy?
But it was interesting what they would do for Chick-fil-A. So maybe that would cause them to do crazy stuff. Mercury in retrograde. Yeah,
That might be. Maybe that's part of it.
maybe.
I don't know. Let's see. Something else that I saw. Never thought about this, but is kind of part of the fallout of coronavirus, as if there was more than dying.
Right.
Coronavirus, as you know, we're finding out more every day about how quickly it actually spreads, how quickly it has spread, how many people actually have already succumbed, because a lot is being kept quiet in China.
And I think, and I still think they're kind of keeping some
Oh,
stuff
I do too.
quiet.
I think that
To be honest.
it's really they've got things locked down as good as they can, but still some pictures are getting out. Like we talked about, some of the homes being blockaded if there are people that are sick in the building, or even if there aren't, because they're trying to keep people inside, so they don't either get it or spread it. And they're blockading row houses. People can't get out to get food, and there's no food in the grocery stores, and stores aren't open.
Right.
Anyway, because they closed them down because they don't want anybody to get sick. But another side of that, two things. I saw a couple of posts, and one of them was our buddy Gigi, who had posted this, but there's more than a couple that had posted this weekend because they were trying to find somebody a seamstress, because they have a wedding coming up this year. 70 or 80% of the bridal gowns are made in China.
Oh, gotcha.
70 to 80%.
That's really?
David's bridal is like going, shoot.
Right. Holy cow. What?
I can't get that gown. And then you think, well, do you want the gown that comes from China right now?
I mean,
On
no.
top of it, because we talked about, getting boxes from China.
Yeah.
Be careful popping the bubbles, because that air's from China.
I mean, you never know.
You don't know who breathes in it last. But that's where most of the wedding gowns come from. So the people if you're a seamstress, get some extra needles for your sewing machine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
I
really.
had no idea that they were all made. I mean, a lot of stuff's made in China, but I had no clue that I never thought wedding
Right?
gowns were made in China.
And something else that's made in China that really could affect this country big time is toys.
Oh, yeah.
80% of toys are made in China.
Yeah. Good point.
And Santa's workshop is only so big.
Right.
So we need some more helpers, obviously.
China's a big helper.
So they're saying right now it's going you'll feel the effects late summer initially. And there's a really good chance if things continue as they are, that it will affect the holiday season.
I'm sure.
Isn't that crazy?
It's going to get worse before it gets better. Like,
Because we haven't even seen the wave.
No, it's just been trickling. It's been trickling out, and it's gonna hit America into whatever level it's gonna hit.
But when it finally hits America, how bad will it be?
It'll
in China?
be terrible. It'll be terrible. And so it's gonna be. And my brother and his whole family are going on a cruise in the beginning of March.
Didn't they just hear what happened?
Well, they booked it, 6 months ago. So they're.
I'm sure.
And my mom's an alarmist, just like she was when we decided to go to the DR for our honeymoon. So I've kind of asked the kids to text their grandma and just independently and say, Grandma, I'm kind of worried about.
Oh my God.
Grandma's gonna freak out.
Uncle Mike is gonna die.
Right.
But see, they have.
I wouldn't go.
Well,
I wouldn't go.
they've had 2 or 3 ships so far, and I think off one ship alone there was over 600 cases, and that's partially because they were in such close quarters. That's once you have one,
Right.
it's going to affect and you're stuck at sea. And then they were stuck at sea; they wouldn't let them come into ports because none of the countries had.
I just don't know why they don't keep them at sea. Like you're on a ship, you're on a moving island.
They need to treat them.
But bring the doctors to the ship. Like you have them on an island in the middle of the ocean where they're not going to come in contact with anybody else.
They need to take them to another island because it's like they run out of supplies. You know what I mean? Because you got easily 2,000 people on probably a small ship.
Yeah, a small one. Yeah.
And so to have enough supplies, that's 2,000 for the passengers plus probably another 1,000 or so or 500 to 1,000 of employees.
Sure.
That even if they could just take them, if there was an island,
right? Just
take
test them, and then there's islands all over the place. I don't know. Who knows? We're probably oversimplifying it.
I think maybe. I think there's a reason because I know they wanted to come into different ports and the countries wouldn't allow it.
Like no,
because they're like we don't have the facilities to take care of them.
I agree. And we do here in America, so you can
limited, but we do have some
people. Yeah, I mean, once it gets overrun, it's overrun. Yeah. What are you going to do? And that's when the problem starts.
At this point, I know like here at UNMC, they have that containment center, and they're sufficiently satisfied that they are prepared. For the number that they whatever that number is, they're prepared. I mean, Ebola, they were prepared. They're prepared. One thing I don't know for sure, because they were talking about the number of cases in the United States. There have been no cases in the United States where it has spread.
I don't know.
These are all people that have been brought into the country.
As of today, no. Right.
That have it and they brought them in to treat them.
So we're testing them, bring them in, and then we isolate them, and it doesn't spread.
Because like the people at Camp Ashland, they made their quarantine. Mm-hmm. I think they're done with their quarantine and they were released.
Some of them are gone, yeah.
So they're all good. But they had to go through that 2 week, as far as they know, 2 weeks. Boring. I think they had TV.
Well, I mean, after a while, there's only so many seasons of The Office you can watch.
Binge a few new programs. There's a new show on HBO, by the way, called Outsider.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is his name? Jason. I almost said his name. He was child actor.
Jason Bateman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman. This is a Stephen King series based on one of his books, Outsider. And the first episode was free. If you don't have HBO, you can get it for 7 days, 7-day trial.
Yeah.
And if you cancel it the next day, you can still get it for 7 days. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to binge that.
Get it. Make sure you have the next 7 days cleared off in your calendar, though.
Oh, I'm gonna be
good?
gonna be recording and I'll be saving. It's all good. I'll be having it. I'm good. I don't know how many episodes it is, but it looks really good. And he stars in it.
I love Jason Bateman.
He's
and
hilarious.
he
Plays a good character. As far as this character he plays, I don't know because I've only seen one episode. I saw the one and I'm like, okay, I'm in, and so I want the rest of them. But at the end of the first episode, you aren't sure if he's a good guy or a bad guy. And he's one of those people, kind of like Robin Williams, that is an excellent bad guy.
Yes, the guys
Because he
that are
looks-
stereotypically good, like
Yes.
super good, super wholesome, super funny, play the best evil villains.
Remember
the
John
best.
Thomas from John Boy? Was that on the Waltons? I never watched the Waltons. John Boy, though, he was
Yeah.
the oldest son, right?
Right.
There's a couple movies. I hated him in movies because he was the creepy stalker.
But he's the opposite of what people think.
And exactly, because he was portrayed as being he was dumb. Good night, John Boy. Good night.
Right.
You know, do all that stuff. I remember that. But yeah, he was the good guy, but he was a great bad guy. But anyway, just throw that out there for you. Okay. So yeah.
So if you have
there's
coronavirus, there's something for you to watch. It's your Pat and JT. If you
you
have
want me to get your coronavirus
tip
TV watch
of the
list?
day.
I can put together for you. I think there's a couple of their shows that are really worth
Throw
it.
that playlist together for us.
Yeah, that's what I
would
got.
you?
So that's kind of what I got for now.
Well, that's a good one. Well, you guys love your texts and now the resurgence of voicemail at 402-403-9478 or on Facebook. It's Pat and JT. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for listening to our podcast.